all, DNT here. I'm going to talk about DNT scopes in a minute. Sorry, day scopes in a minute, not so much just DNT scopes. I've received another scope I'm going to try out. I'm going to take this off first, and then we'll get back to the nitty-gritty of the scopes, because I want to speak about this scope before I think about putting on another rifle. Here I've got my Bagara B14 HMR Wilderness. Fantastic rifle. I'm going to do a full review on this very soon, but I want to talk today about the DNT One scope, but I'm going to take it off this rifle because it's always better to talk about the scope off the rifle. As you know, I've been using this for a number of months now, and I'm going to tell you the difference between this and the Arken EP5 Gen 2, which I have on the 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm going to tell you the reason why there's a difference and what this scope would benefit over what the Arken benefits. But first of all, let's take this off. And the Seeker Rut's just started, and I prefer doing my daytime stalking with a day scope still, even though the likes of the Zulus is more than capable of being working during the day, and I do still use it during the day as well, but I prefer a proper day scope for doing the day stuff. So here we have on my 6.5 Creedmoor, I have the EP5 Gen 2, and this is the exact same as this one. This is a 7-35 by 56. Beautiful scopes, both of them, both track very, very well. And what I'm going to talk about is maybe the comparison between these two. What is the difference? Why would you buy a DNT One over, say, your Gen 2, Arken Optics Gen 2? People think they're the same scope. They're very similar in many ways. They have the same zero lock. They have the same diameter tube, same glass. In many ways, they are the exact same scope. But in 2 or 3 places, parallax, focus, adjustment, reticle, they are slightly different. And they have a different kind of usage as well. Now, both of these could be used for ELR, extreme long range, or target shooting out to 1,000 yards. F-class, a lot of guys are liking the DNT and the Arken Optics for F-class shooting now. And many folk are enjoying the use of these in the PRS competitively. However, this is where the difference lies in these two scopes. The Arken Optics EP5 Gen 2 is more suited for PRS, albeit it's got a target style reticle on it, and the reticle on the DNT One is actually more suited to PRS. The Arken Optics one is got a better parallax adjustment for quick target acquisition at different ranges. What I mean for that is there's more dirty parallax in the Arken EP5 Gen 2 than what there is on the DNT Optics One. Now the DNT Optics One is a better scope. This one here is a better scope. They're all similar size, similar weight to zeros. The turrets are very similar on that side. So mechanically they're the exact same in many ways except from the parallax. So the Gen 2 is more suited for when you want to go for, say, 350 yards up to 500 yards, down to 200 yards on the same stage, because the parallax adjustment on this is more forgiving. You don't need to fine tune that image to get onto those, so you can quickly turn your parallax if you need to, without actually worrying about taking any length of time. And that's where the DNT One falls short for that kind of shooting, is you need an awful lot more time to adjust your parallax. Both of these got illuminated reticles. The DNT has a full reticle illumination. Move this out of the way. Put that there. The DNT One has a full illuminated reticle, and the Arken EP5 Gen 2 has the centre dot illuminated. And both have their advantages and disadvantages. I prefer the centre dot over the DNT, the One. Now, for ranges up to 200 yards, you're not going to care about any of the parallax stuff. You're going to set your parallax, you'll be fine. And the same with, that's the same on both scopes. So for hunting, for instance, as hunting scopes, albeit very heavy, because these are 34mm tubes, and they're big, long target scopes with huge turrets, they have still been working well in regards to shooting deer. In fact, Toby from Arken shot a couple of stags using this rifle and this scope a couple of weeks ago at 340 yards, and he loved it. He was like, that's really clear. The glass is really bright and clear. And sorry, it was the One he was using, and he was well and truly happy with the 2 stags that he's got. So for hunting, high seat work, even a lot of stuff, like even trekking out, like I walked 12 miles yesterday. I trekked out with the 6.5 PRC and the One on top, and yeah, it was fantastic, you know. So to be honest, they're not super heavy, but I'm a big old guy, so I don't tend to notice a lot of heavy stuff that much. 8 times is a good stocking magnification, so anything above 8 times magnification, it's usually fixed there if you're using it for stalking enemy. So you're never going to use the 35 times. Now both of these have a slight little problem, because the optimum magnification for both these scopes is around between 20 and 25 for zooming all the way in. There is no point taking it right up to that 35, because yes, you'll get fine tune, but you'll start losing image quality after around about 25. It's not terrible, and it's still very usable, but you do need that distance. You need, if you are shooting ELR, anything closer than that, you shouldn't be using 35 anyway. So the scopes technically max out around about 25, even though you've got that extra 10 power zoom. They are both designed for that extreme long range, so and the 1,000 yards, so over 1,000 yards, so that you can get that out. So this, as I said, the advice given on what scope we choose if you're going to be doing competition. If you're doing competition where you've got multiple stages and you've got you're on a time constraint, I would pick the EP5 over the One at the moment. I would pick the EP5 over that type. But if you are going to be shooting at targets, you're plinking away steel plates at 3, 4, 5, 1,000 yards, or even out to a mile, I would quite happily use the DNT One. Now there's one big thing on both of these scopes, and it's quite an important thing. Both of these scopes are well under £1,000. They do compete well with those higher price point scopes. In fact, there's some scopes that are a lot that don't even give the facilities that these 2 scopes have got, and they're £1,500, £1,200, £1,900 or whatever. These scopes give you a heck of a lot of scope for the money, and it gives you a lot of facilities for the money. You've got full locking turret on the top for your elevation. Don't get me wrong, you're not locking turret for your windage, which would be nice, but it's not. You've got really good clarity glass, similar glass on both, but the glass these days isn't making that much of a difference. And you're paying under £700 for one of these scopes. Under £700. You wouldn't even think of that in the future. Now, what I'm in the process of doing just now is, although I love these 2 scopes, and this one's staying on the 6.5 Creedmoor, this one is actually going to be going on to another rifle. I haven't picked which one, because I want to do some long range plinking with that scope, which I'll do, and I will take videos of. Going to hit steel out to 200-300 yards. I think I'm going to stick it on the 223 for that, and I think it will be really, really interesting. I have got a mount for it so that I'm going to stick onto the 223 and we're going to plink steel out to 300-400 yards and maybe further, see how well I get on. But that will be an interesting video for that. And I'll talk more about the DNT one when I do that. It's just because it's cheaper. Put it that way. And it's like, on the 6.5 PRC, I'm going to be using that for stalking. And I've got night scope set up. Well, I've got thermal scope. I've got the Hydra set up on the 270 right now. So I'm going to run these two for shooting deer at night and for shooting deer during the day, which is going to be fantastic. So I'm going to have footage coming on for that. But I've got a scope that I will be putting on the 6.5 PRC, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But if you're going to purchase these scopes, bearing in mind, these are fantastic for the money. Just over £600, under £700, depending on the retailer, you are getting a scope that's well worth £2,000 easy. And they are worth the buy. If you are doing competition PRS, a lot of the guys are doing PRS stuff, no matter whether it's rimfire all the way up to centerfire stuff, hunter challenges or whatever. Bear in mind, they are heavy scopes. So if you've got a weight restriction on your rifle, you might not want to put one of these on it. But if you've got a really light rifle, this might be worthwhile investing in. And you know the best part about it is you ain't investing a heck of a lot of money. So even if you've got a plinker and you're just going to be doing what I'm going to be doing with this on the 223, then you are going to have a fantastic time. I 100% promise. Anyway, what am I replacing that with? So I'll put this away just now, or we'll stick it over here. What I am going to be replacing this with on my 6.5 PRC is another Arken scope. Now this Arken, as you see, is the 624x50, and this is the SH4G, so it's got Japanese glass in it. These retail, get this, under £400. You get a lot for the money. I mean, a lot for the money. This is a crossover scope, so it's got your full locking turret at the top. It's a little bit lighter, and we'll take the sunshade and that off, make it look a little bit better. So I acquired this scope today. It's very weighty. It's again a 34 mil, 34 inch. Sorry, 34 mil, not 34 inch. That'd be big. That'd be huge. A 34 mil tube. So I am getting a lot of scope for this. Turrets are the exact same as what's on the One and on the Arken EP5. Good contact turrets. It is illuminated reticle as well. Let's see if the battery's in it. No, I'll have to get a battery for it. I don't use illuminated reticles. Broke it. I don't use illuminated reticles. But these have got lifetime warranties on them. You know, they're fantastic. It has got the exact same reticle as what's on the DNT, the One. A little bit smaller in size, a little bit more like a hunting scope. So we'll take the little tag off it. As I said, for under £400, this is a scope that a lot of guys will be putting on their hunting rifles. This is 6-24, which is really good. There we go. Take that off. Completely brand new. As I said, got it today, and I'm really, really looking forward to putting this on the 6.5 PRC. That's what I'm going to do just now, actually. 25 NM, yeah, so that's around about 18" pounds. So that's that all sorted. Now all I need to do is bore sight it and it's ready. And it's actually made it a little easier. So there you have it. It's not really an addiction with Arken glass or Arken optics or anything like that, or DNT. It's not an addiction with me. What it is that it is starting to get to a point where I'm realising you don't really need to spend a heck of a lot of money on something that is really good. Back in the day, £300 for a stocking scope was not a lot of money. Or £400 for a stocking scope was not a lot of money. And then I do a lot of kind of long range stuff, which I need my dialing and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I really could do with cutting my prices, but getting something decent. Then Arken came out and I got this and it's absolutely fantastic. Well, when Arken came out, I got the EP5 and I got the DNT stuff. And I'm like, wow, just this is fantastic. This is now bringing me to top level of scopes and top level shooting with the scopes and stuff like that for a fraction of the prices that I was seeing. A Vortex Razor HD, for instance, £2,500. And in many ways, this offers the same facilities as that. Don't get me wrong, a little bit, you can nitpick on glass quality, you can nitpick on a little bit of image quality and stuff like that. But as long as you can see what you're shooting, these track very well, they hold zero very well. These have held zero on both these rifles. So when I saw this one at one of the shows that I did for Arken, I thought, I want to try this as a stocking scope, a real stocking scope. It's got dialable turrets, it's got all the things that you would expect from a top class target, but a kind of lighter design and a more compact design for stocking. Bear in mind, this is still a heavy rifle. We're still talking that this is around about 15 pounds in weight with the moderator, and the moderator is very lightweight. But with this rifle and the heavy barrel and that, this is still a heavy gun. But this has made a difference already. So I'm going to take this to the range. I'm going to get it sighted in properly. I'm going to bore sight it first. When I take it to the range, I'm going to show you me using this in a stock, and hopefully we'll get a beastie with it in the next couple of days. And that is the plan for this. And on that one, on the DNT One, I am going to finish off my review on this, because you've seen me shoot deer with this before. You've seen me use this in the field before on the PRC. It's been on my back on a number of videos, and a lot of guys have commented it, and they've purchased one and they're really happy with the product. But what I want to do is I'm going to take, and you've shot me shoot long range with a very capable rifle, very good grip at 650 meters, and which is around nearly 700 yards. I actually got 2 shots bullet on bullet, but the wind kind of picked up and it was lifting my bullets a little bit. But I was getting some really good impacts with this rifle, using this scope. Again, I've got a video there that some of you might have seen. I'm thinking, what's it going to be like on a smaller rifle? And that is what this one is going to be on. This is going to be on the 223. I'm just waiting for a rail for the 22250, and then the night vision is going to go on that, and that'll be my Foxing rifle. And this is going to have a day scope for doing some roe deer during the day and running the lighter stuff. And I'm going to do some plinking with it. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's also harder because it's a lighter bullet. It's only used 55 grain bullets. So I want to see how capable this is of running a lighter load. Now, a couple of guys actually laughed, and I was thinking about it. A couple of guys laughed and they says, why don't you stick this on the 22LR and run that scope out to see how far you can get with that. Now, that might be a plan, because that's good PRS training, and especially there's been a lot of emphasis on the PRS rimfire challenges. I might actually do this because I think this would be an awesome scope for those PRS rimfire challenges. I know I said about the parallax and everything in regards to PRS, but that's full bore. PRS full bore and PRS rimfire are slightly different. You're not going to be changing your parallax that much shooting out to 150 to 200 yards with a rimfire. So that's where I see this being like, yeah, you can use this for that kind of shooting. And then you're not paying 2,000, 3,000 for a scope. You're still getting a good quality scope, a very good quality scope for well under £1,000. And it'll make you competitive. So anyway, that might be a thing. I might put this on a 22LR, and I've got a couple of them to choose from. And this might land up being like a plinking scope and for doing some daytime road ear and stuff like that on my 223. So anyway, stay tuned for those videos. I hope you enjoy the content. I know I've been quiet over the last couple of weeks. I've been really busy with the deer stuff. I've done umpteen videos and just never posted them. But check out Arken and DNT. Check out their stuff. A very good quality for the price. You're not going to be upset with it. And I'll catch you again soon. Forgot to say my tagline. Happy hunting and stay safe. Speak to you soon.